Visionaries, welcome back. This time I wanted to come to you with another kind of print on demand related video. This time I'm talking through Printify versus Printful and my experience with that related to my Etsy store, so my Etsy shop integration with those two. Now, I'm going to share more about my experience on Etsy overall in another video, but just know that I launched the store and then I took a pause on it for certain reasons, and it was actually related to the print partner that I had it connected to in the first place. So, Printful, I started with Printful, launched my Etsy store in about late October, leading up to the holiday. I had great sales on Etsy. I would say up to when I first uploaded my first group of designs, I probably got regular sales consistently like 4 or 5 a month. So October, November, December. And it was interesting around those holidays because folks usually, if it's related to some holiday related content, they want it before those holidays. And so my initial experience with Printful was not a good one. The first ever shirt that someone purchased on Etsy, on the back end, Printful was out of stock of that particular shirt design. So that was my first one, so I didn't have the alternative set up. Then I had an alternative set up to say, if you don't have this particular shirt design or configuration in stock, then print on this one instead. So it was holding in fulfillment for almost a week, and Etsy usually only gives you about 10 business days or so to send out the shirt. So I had to contact customer service in Printful to say, what's going on with this back ordered shirt type? Can you put it on the alternative that I set days and days ago, and nothing was happening with it? So they said that they would grant me exception, this one-time exception, to change the order, put the order on a different shirt design, and then rush order it to the person. So it ended up getting to the person in the appropriate amount of time, so I wouldn't get a ding from Etsy for sending out the shirt late. However, when the individual got the shirt, she emailed me back and said, because in my Etsy store, I accept exchanges, but only for items that are damaged, right? Not just because they don't fit. So order size up, had all, the appropriate disclaimers on there. So she messages me through Etsy and says, I was misled. This is supposed to be a 2X. It doesn't fit me. It doesn't even fit my 8-year-old or whatever. And I'm like, what kind of sizing is this? The sizing chart looked just like the Gildan and the Hanes shirts and all the regular like t-shirts. So a 2X should be a 2X. But it was obviously not US sizes. So lo and behold, after this whole rigmarole, luckily the individual didn't give me a bad rating. They didn't give me any rating in my Etsy store, or that would have been like the open and close of my store, because I, just don't like those types of bad reviews and things of that nature, especially when it is something out of my control. So that is a huge difference between Merch by Amazon and Etsy. Like, you are the store owner. You are responsible for fulfillment in terms of the quality of it, and the end customer rating your store. They don't know anything about Printful or Printify or anybody that you have fulfilled the items. They're looking back to you like, I bought it from your store, I trusted you, and this is what I get, so you get a bad rating, sort of thing. So be prepared for that. No, it's obviously way more customer service than what you'll ever deal with Merch by Amazon, because we're behind the scenes in MBA, and you don't have to deal with any customers or returns or this doesn't fit or this wasn't printed right or none of that. So be prepared if you want to have your Etsy or Shopify store or whatever you want to do. So, needless to say, Printful had various other instances where the printing and fulfillment took way too long. It was either they printed it efficiently, it got out in 2 or 3 days, but the shipping that they used, it comes from, I believe, North Carolina or wherever their Northeast fulfillment center is, or East Coast fulfillment center is, and then it gets picked up by DHL, and then DHL transfers it to the USPS, the United States Post Office, and then it takes more time. So on a given basis, from the time that it ships from Printful to the time that it gets to your customer could be anywhere from 3 to 5 days and stuff. I'm like, really? What kind of bulk rate are they utilizing? But it seemed like because you're charging the customer like $5 for this shirt and it essentially comes in an envelope or something like that, like why is it so delayed in shipping? So that was the other thing. The print quality for Printful was totally fine, but the time to fulfill, the rigmarole with the different t-shirt brand sizing thing was an issue. It was just not a good experience. So fast forward to Printify. Printify has, I believe, decent print quality. It depends on the vendor you use on the back end of Printify. So if you're not familiar with Printify, it's different than Printful in that Printify is kind of like a clearinghouse for different printers. So it could be like 5 or 6 different printing vendors that you can choose from, and some are abroad, some are in the US. And so 2 that I use most often is DJ, and they have very good print quality, great turnaround time. And then the other is My Locker. So I use those as well interchangeably. It depends on what their fulfillment times are looking like and what the shirts that they offer are. So usually there's ships within 2 to 3 days, and then, a few days after that, then your customer receives it. So I definitely find that those 2 vendors on Printify are the most reliable, and so that was what kind of set my mind at ease. I'm in a good rhythm. The shirts fit like they're supposed to. They're, go along with the sizing chart and make sense for US sizes, and doesn't take too long to print, and they have the shirts in stock, and they get to the person within a reasonable amount of time, not 2 weeks or more like what was going on with Printful. I think that the print quality is decent. It's not as good as Printful, so you have to do a trade-off. Do you want the shirt to not be the greatest quality, but be decent and get to your customer in a reasonable amount of time? Or do you want them to be biting their nails like, I ordered this 2 weeks ago and it's still not to me, but it looks nice when it gets there? That was one of the reviews that I got when I was using Printful from one of my customers. Loved the shirt, but she was kind of like, am I going to get it before Halloween? Am I going to get it by the time I want it or not, or whatever? So I don't want to compromise either way, but I would rather my customers get a decently printed shirt in a reasonable amount of time than a blockbuster, just golden printed shirt, and it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get there. So that is my review of Printify and Printful. So you let me know what your experience has been if you used either one of these in integration with a storefront that you have either on Etsy or Shopify or whatever, and just share with us what your experience has been. If you have any other questions for me, please comment below and I will answer those. And if you know other folks that would enjoy this content, want to know more about print on demand, whether it's merch by Amazon, Etsy, Redbubble, Teespring, any of that, please do share with that community. And until next time, be well and peace, family.